I have a problem. I hate my website. It doesn't feel like me, and worst of all, I can't change it because the builder I'm using lacks the tools I need to make it feel like me. CabbageCorgi. Oh, and welcome back to the channel. That was not planned. I don't know how that happened. But recently I stumbled across Readymag. Apparently it's this new age website builder, and I've been getting so many ads for it. And the examples look absolutely jaw-dropping. It's the kind of website you kind of be jealous of. Now, obviously, like you, I was skeptical. So I did a bunch of research and came across another problem. All the people that I've seen talk about Readymag are either professionals that I can't relate to, or what I can only describe as AI reviews. Like, look at these. Tell me those are not made by AI. In fact, if you are one of the creators of these videos and you want to prove your innocence, comment down below so we can see that you're human. Wait, actually don't do that because I don't want to end up like that scene from Blade Runner. Anyways, without a lot of context and honestly nothing left to lose because I hate my website as it is, I canceled my current subscription and spent a week in Readymag trying to design a website worthy of me, an aspiring creative director and filmmaker. Let's get into it. Okay, let me set a couple things straight. 1. You don't need a website. I've never gotten a client lead from my website. All my traffic either comes from Instagram or TikTok or generic cold emails. If I could place where the website comes in during the whole creative scouting process, it's probably here, during the whole get to know you by stalking your entire existence phase. It's kind of like a cover letter. Everyone says you don't technically need one, but we all put one in with our resume. Like, come on, what are we doing? But there are some upsides to it. Creating a website is a good exercise in figuring out what your creative brand is. You're given a sandbox and told to just make whatever feels true to you, and what aspects of yourself feel marketable and have value. Will you go for something more minimalistic or something more loud and impactful, serious and conventional, or just send it into left field? Nothing is wrong, it's just yours. Personally, I've never felt comfortable in the conventional filmmaker branding scheme. I definitely lean more creator, but I also bring a lot of creative direction to the projects that I'm a part of. So I want a place to showcase both sides of me. Okay, so this is my old website, and right away, I'm so lukewarm on this. Like, yeah, it just feels really simple. If you go to the About page, you can see how like I was trying to build out a website that was different, but I couldn't get there with the chunks and like the blocks that I was given, and it was really hard to do stuff that was more like out of left field. And it's simple, it's nice, but it doesn't really speak to who I am. And also, if you've been on many creators' websites before, there's a pretty good chance that their websites look exactly like mine because we all build them in the same sites. I feel like, on a personal note, that everything we do as creatives to showcase our work, and even the forums we use to showcase our work, should emulate who we are as creatives. Like, personally, I'm not gonna put my TikToks or my YouTube videos in an art gallery because that's not the right forum to showcase my work. So again, like my website is supposed to be a forum, and it's supposed to be a place that I can consolidate all my work and make people understand who I am as a creative. And this is not. So yeah. Okay, so jumping into Readymag, the cool part about it is that they give you basically a blank canvas. And like Photoshop or Canva or any layer-based designer, you have to figure out the rules of the software to really get the most creative freedom, which means, yeah, training wheels. My first instinct was to take a template and then just tear it apart, seeing what each widget did and how to get certain effects. Readymag also has a pretty robust support section filled with tutorials, videos, and a community page to get started. I posted something on a forum and it only took me 24 hours to get like a real person to answer my questions, which is pretty cool. If I could be very honest, the first couple of days for me were an absolute flop. Like, everything I made sucked, and I also felt really sucky about it. But then something caught my eye. It was the examples tab. As part of their marketing, Readymag has a made with section on their website filled with user-made websites. And for me, that really got the fire going again. With some more inspiration gathering, I decided to try again. And only about 3 days into the experience did I really feel like I knew what my vision was, and knew technically how to chase the vision I wanted. The problem with the big website builders out there is that you're forced into a box of what their generic website looks like. But there's so much out there. The possibilities should be endless, and I'm not your regular type of crazy guy. If anything, I was learning to think bigger with Readymag.
Okay, so enough talk. Let's get down to the actual website. This is cabbageproductions.xyz. Why.xyz? Well, I got a free year of a .xyz domain, but I'll get into that later. First of all, I really love this visual. I kind of went for like the whole iPhone camera overlay type of thing, and it actually was an idea that I had for my business cards, and the artist did such a good job of rendering that out that I just had to recreate it in the website. This is just like amazing. The fact that I was able to accomplish this just in my own head, being able to put it onto like a website is crazy, considering the fact that like a lot of templates that you get from other builders kind of don't allow you to do something this creative and sort of like out of left field and silly and wacky. But anyways, so I have like the things that I do kind of like lined on the side, and that's supposed to emulate like the photo, video, cinematic mode of the iPhone camera, and that just scrolls endlessly. I have like some cool animations that like hover. The custom cursor is done all by myself, and you can add your own and you can just make it anything you want, which is really amazing. It was actually honestly pretty simple to create. Like everything's either like a shape layer or a widget. And personally, I'm a big fan of like Easter eggs and AR. I come from like 2008 when every website had like a secret little Easter egg. So I've actually built in a lot of interaction on the website. Like if you click this button here, it flashes and it's really funny. And then like the photo button is just a photo of me, which is really silly. And then like all these buttons take you to like my Instagram and the YouTube page and all that kind of stuff. So getting into the scroll, like what do we actually do when we get here? So I have like this whole like little scroll for full experience thing at the bottom. And what happens is when you scroll, you get like each page in sort of like transition. So I kind of base this one off of like any site that has like it's like very minimalistic. Like there's only one thing to do. So if you hit play, it plays. And then this is Raph dancing. If you want to go see the behind the scenes of that video, it's up here somewhere. And then freezes it. And I think this is really cool. Like just something simple like this for people to play around with. Like, oh, that's really cool. And then coming here is my selected works. This was completely done like from scratch. I built the entire section out. Like these sort of like animated video covers is actually layers that I've stacked on top of each other, and like the photo hides it, and then when I hover over, the opacity drops to 0, and then like you get like the text font and all that kind of stuff. It happens over here too. This one was also really sick. Like these ones are just Vimeo links on the bottom, and they actually take you to the Vimeo links. You're allowed to actually hide the controls of the Vimeo player so that it just feels like it's a video that you've embedded, but it's actually not. And it just auto plays in loops. So that's really amazing. Something you can do is you can make embedded videos draggable. So this is where like I have a bunch of like visual eye candy clips and things that I think are really stand out about my work, and I can just like make it interactive and people can still look through them like a portfolio, but it's interactive and you can actually like drag it across and make it move, and you're like, oh, what's the next one gonna be? And like you can like stop and look at each one, and then when you're ready to move on, you can move on to this one. And it's like something that you actually have to tease out and find yourself. And I feel like this whole thing kind of gamifies the whole experience, and I quite like that a lot. Like it feels more genuine, it feels more like thoughtful rather than just like a portfolio that you kind of like stick on a wall type of thing. And personally, like my brand is also kind of like fun and like lighthearted and more sort of like head in the clouds kind of feel. So I wanted to make the website match who I am as a creative as well. So that's really fun. Also, the raccoon is silly because I used to work with raccoons during my college degree. And then the content page is really simple. Like I'll just say it right off the bat. I'm not a good web designer, nor am I a good UI or UX designer or anything like that. Like I didn't go to school for it. I'm not naturally gifted in any of these places, but this website builder really made me think outside the box and really made me think about positive space and negative space and offsetting things and making stuff look just kind of cool in general. You're given a lot of control over all of those elements, and everything you do kind of becomes purposeful. And I think that's really like a big benefit of the whole system and the experience overall, is because you just get to work at it and tease out what creativity and like beauty and, you know, something that's aesthetic, what that means to you. So like this whole thing, like this was just a simple shape layer that comes default with the app, like this corgi, but like the way I've set it up and all that kind of feels cool. I could have easily just went and like got a corgi background, but I did this myself and I feel like it feels cooler to me. It also feels good that I did it myself. Like I look at it and I go, I feel like kind of proud of myself. Anyways, And then moving down is just like a little about me page, and then all the stickers I cut out in Photoshop, and like the horizontal scroll thing I did myself in the app, and it was a little hard to get it to work initially. But just as a finishing note, if you think this is like ground zero and you think that, oh, I could do way better than you, dude, I implore you to go and try this, because like all the other website builders are not doing this right now, and I feel like this is so much more fun, and it's way more modern, and it's way more like it breaks the mold for what a website is, and it encourages people to interact with it. So if you think my work is crap, you try it yourself and you see what you can come up with. I would love to see what other people come up with this, because like I'm definitely a little late to the whole like new age website thing, but there are so many conventional websites out there, and if you feel like your website is boring, try something different. Try something like Readymag. It would honestly be pretty cool. This is also my genuine opinion, because like I'm not sponsored or anything, but like it's actually cool software. Okay, so I'm re-recording this pros and cons section for like the 5th time, so please bear with me. There's just been a bunch of stuff since I wrote it initially that I want to add, so we're just gonna do it like this. So a big pro is creative potential. I think Readymag really gives you the opportunity to just go and live out or create whatever you want your potential website to look like. It does take a little bit longer to get there, but I think a big pro is that you get to have that creative freedom and then also be able to transition that into any kind of idea or portfolio or website that you want to make. I would say a pretty apt comparison is like going from iMovie to Final Cut, or going from Microsoft Paint to Photoshop. I think the overall like complexity of the software, as well as the overall like level up that you get in terms of what you could create, is massively expanded in Readymag. As far as a platform for my portfolio, I feel like Readymag actually encourages me to interact and change it and update my website more often. I think a trap that we all fall into as creatives is that we set up our website once, and only about 6 to 8 months later after our next big project do we go and update our website with the necessary changes. I find that I'm incentivized to go change or tweak or finagle with the actual content on my website, because it's what I put up there, not just what was given to me on a template. I guess speaking on toying with the builder itself, I actually really like the fact that I could build interaction into the website. Again, like I said earlier, there's like no other website builder out there, in my opinion, that allows you to sneak so many fun things purposefully into your website without feeling like it's too much of a flat gimmick that they offer you. It's something that you can be really intentional about, everything that I showcase in my website, as long as a lot of different things that I've seen online. One of the examples that I found really cool was some guy who made his portfolio look like these old Stickman arcade games that we used to play on the browsers back in like, I don't know, like the mid 2010s, where it was like Stickman X Games and all that kind of stuff. Like he made his whole thing like surrounded around skateboarding, which is really cool. Which leads me to the actual features that I find really cool in Readymag. So animations on widgets. I think that's super awesome, because usually website builders only give you a stock of like 5, whereas Readymag gives you 4 base animations: movement, scale, rotation, and opacity, but then you can step them and also trigger them with other widgets, so it altogether feels like a more complex system than just one stock animation. The shots feature was something that was super interesting to me as a video-based creator. It's somewhere in between a video and a GIF, but it also can be triggered by different things on your website, like scrolling or clicking or hovering and all that kind of stuff. And I think that dropped frame look reminds me a lot of the fashion industry as well as the design industry. So overall, it brings sort of this like higher quality, higher value feel to my website. Something that I was surprised by was that I didn't use any template when it came down to making my website. Everything you saw earlier was either from my own head or I was inspired by something else that I saw online. But I think that not only speaks a lot about the actual technology and the builder itself, but it also speaks volumes of the community that surrounds Readymag, like the examples tab, and also the vibrant community that can support you in creating your own vision. So that's all really cool. And a small appendage to, I guess, this whole section is that you get a .xyz domain for signing up. And that's cool, but it's only free for a year, so keep that in mind. Okay, so moving on to cons. I think this entire section, I'm gonna preface and say, I feel like Readymag overall is more suited towards designers, creators, filmmakers, and people who wanna show their work in a way that is unconventional. I'm not gonna pretend like this whole clean professional look is boring and not valued, because it is, but I feel like this is clearly something different. So, okay, so for video-based creators and filmmakers, you're gonna find the pricing pretty brutal. The base tier starts at $14 a month, which sounds great, but then you're capped at video uploads of only 6 megabytes. And that's almost impossible for someone who wants to show their video-based work. I mean, you all know that 6 megabytes is like 3 seconds. So the freelancer plan ups the limit to 50 megabytes, which is pretty good, but then it also ups the price to $21 a month, which is a pretty steep increase. There is a custom option where you can get like an evaluation from their team and get a specific pricing, but then I don't know what they could take out of the freelancer plan to make it a better suit for me, and then also not compromise something else. Cargo, which is another one of these more unconventional website builders, also offers like pretty competitive pricing at $14 a month. But that style that Cargo offers is very specific and like minimalistic and all that kind of stuff. So if you wanted something that looks like Cargo, maybe go with Cargo. But for everyone else, I feel like Readymag covers basically all your bases. Oh, and also I would say ignore any website builder that is gonna ask you to pay for their templates. I think that's a ripoff. Some more hyper-specific criticisms of Readymag. I would say that the building experience, while really creatively freeing, was pretty annoying at sometimes. Scaling options were often really hard to tackle because the UI itself, because it's based on your web browser, is pretty unforgiving and isn't dynamic enough compared to like a standalone app. So you're gonna have some trouble layering things and scaling things to the right size when you're dealing with multiple layers stacked upon each other. Zoom controls are just terrible. Do not get me started on the amount of times that I've built something in the constructor, thought it looked great, but then I went to preview, it looks like ass. And when you zoom out in the constructor, it doesn't proportionally zoom out everything so you can see what your website looks like as a screen, and then also just be able to tweak things and move things off screen and stuff like that. It gets a little tricky. And I also think this may be a constraint of a web-based builder, but all I would say to that is do not give me the option to zoom in and out without proportionally scaling the website so that I can see exactly what it still looks like in preview. And this process gets exponentially worse for mobile and tablet layouts. Oh yeah, did I mention? You have to build out your own mobile and tablet layouts yourself. And I think this brings me to a larger point of the learning process. Readymag is going to take some time to learn. It's different than any other website builder out there, so obviously you have to learn from scratch how to do everything. But on top of that, you also have to build out your mobile and tablet layouts, which is good on the surface, but the amount of time to get from ground zero, no website, to fully published site can start to showcase this as your portfolio and have people watch it and potentially get clients from it. Takes a long time. And that's also to say, a lot of the users, like myself, are not going to be professional designers or UI UX designers as a background to be able to sort of tackle this and have it be really easy. So if you're not willing to put up the time commitment of learning the software, but on top of that, sit and actually build out your custom website, it may be more worthwhile for you to skip all of this and pay for something that is more templatey and stock. So now I guess I'm starting to see the overall drawbacks between something like Readymag, something where you can unleash creatively, but then also something that's pretty stock and clean and quote unquote professional. It's more of like, do you have the stomach and the time for learning something new, or do you just want to have something ready to go for you? So if I have anything else, I'll cut to myself in the future, but otherwise, hopefully this whole section is done. If you do want to try Readymag for yourself, I have a referral code down below, which is different from an affiliate link. It means that both of us will get the same discount off our next month if you choose to use it. So if you found this helpful and you do want to support me, go ahead and use it and we'll both get a little bit of a discount. Okay, so final verdict. If you can justify the price, I think it's worth it. I would say if you already consider your social media as a creative portfolio, then maybe don't bother. But because more and more people are getting bored of the same apps and the same kind of like format of content that we're all getting, it could be a really good tool if people do decide to click your link in bio. That way you can kind of showcase who you are outside of the templates of Instagram or TikTok or like, you know, any other website builder. So there you have it. A definitely human review of Readymag. Or is it? Yeah? That'd be crazy though. I wish it was. Wouldn't have to prep all the lines. Thank you so much for watching. This video took a really long time to make because not only did I have to build the website from scratch, but also I had to figure out a way to do a review. This is the first like serious review on the channel, so I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to support the channel, please like and subscribe, and there's a coffee link down below if you want to buy me a coffee. Also, drop me a comment if you want to see me review anything else or you have anything in mind that you feel like I should test out.